And we are live. Hello, 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 you amazing hackers. I hope you're all doing well today. So we're going to do some live recon on Tesla.com, which is going to be freaking awesome, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So let's get right into it, shall we? Because we don't have much time to waste. Now I'm going to be, first of all, giving you guys a little bit of a shout out. If you guys want to join our awesome Discord channel, link will be in the description below. We have really fun capture the flag competitions that we join. We do some fun games, we chill with some music sessions, we have some leveling systems, so if you guys feel up for that, link is in the description below. Now let's get right into it, shall we? Hey, how are you doing, Mirik? Great having you back again. It's great seeing that so many of you guys are already here, by the way. So we're going to start attacking Tesla.com today. Now what I want to do, of course, is first go to Tesla.com and see if I can find some security.txt file or something. So I know who to report bugs to whenever I found something, of course. That's really important. Let's give that a little bit of time to load. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is go back to my dashboard here real quick. And we're going to start up a terminal session because I want to start using some tools. These tools may be a little bit older, I'm upgrading them as we go, but I'm not the fastest person on the block anymore. I'm pretty old right now, so that's not playing into my advantage. The first thing I want to do is I have a document on my documents folder. There we go. So there I want to move into my bug bounties folder, so I'm in the correct folder. Now I have some scripts in here, so I'm going to go to my scripts general folder, see what we have in here. This is x66 strike, so this is not the one. I need to go to my Python script. Let's see which files we have in here. I need to go into the folder security testing, I think. Python scripts, there we go. It was a small letter, so let's clear what we have on the field right now. Let's go into the sublister folder, because the first thing I want to do is I want to start up a sublister session in the background while I'm hunting and while I'm doing other things. So to do that, I just go Python sublister.py, and I want to see what kind of requirements there are. I need to give it an argument of -d, so let's do that. And we want to go for Tesla.com. Now let's see if we have some results from Google Chrome yet. No security.txt file was found, so let's just try Google, shall we? Tesla.com bug bounty. If any of you guys have the link, by the way, feel free to drop it in the chat below. I'll be checking it regularly on my phone. Let me open it up real quick so that I have it on hand. There we go. Now we have the chat. Wow, you guys are really how are you guys doing? Hey guys, hey Sparsh, how are you doing, my friend? Hey, great seeing you, man. Everybody, Elon's baby's name is... I don't know, I've heard of Elon's baby's name being some weird-ass thing, but I don't know exactly what it was. You're never old. True, your age is not really dependent on how old you feel. So, thexssrat is not old. You guys, I'm almost 30, so be careful with what you're saying. Hey, how are you doing, man? How everybody's... Great seeing you again. Let's see if we can find some interesting facts on Tesla's bug bounty program. So it looks like they're on Bugcrowd, which is cool for us because I have a Bugcrowd account which I can use. Let's open that up because we want to know what's in scope and what's not. But I already know that Tesla pretty much brings everything in scope. They don't have an out of scope Tesla.com. So let's confirm that real quick. Targets in scope. start.tesla.com, .cn, teslamotors.com, and tesla.services. So that's a whole lot. Any host verified to be owned by Tesla Motors is also in scope. So of course you want to do not just tesla.com, but you also want to go and look for Tesla acquisitions. That's really also an interesting thing that you can look for. because now we're just looking for tesla.com domains, but Tesla allows us to do anything that we want pretty much on their domains. Now I've run sublister. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do start Visual Studio Code, and this will just allow me to put an HTTPS in front of everything. Sorry if you guys hear a jolt or a bump or a knock, by the way. It's because my microphone is in a really awkward place. Let's check the chat real quick again. Hey Secker, great having you back here, man. Merrick, bro, are you good? Bro, you are in your best ages. Yeah, that's true. Hey AMP, great having you here, man. Hope you're all well. So I want to just start a new file, and I just want to do this so I can put HTTPS in front of everything. Now I'm sure there are faster ways, so if you guys know of a faster way, let me know in the chat. I would really like to know as well. I used to use Notepad++ on Windows, but that's not available on macOS, so that's not an option for me. Let's put HTTPS in front of here. And we'll copy all of these domains that we found. We'll copy them over to a new file in Nano. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to want to scan with Eyewitness again. To do that, I also need to start Docker, which I have started here. Docker desktop is running. What I want to do next is I want to go to the Eyewitness Docker page because I want to know exactly how to write the syntax. So I just go Eyewitness Docker and just search on Google. There we go. There we go. Now I already have the Docker container, so I can just copy this. I want to do it on a file, so let's jump right back into it. I'm going to check out the Docker Hub real quick because it has some additional information I believe that I can use. I have to find out the Docker name. I can't remember exactly what that parameter meant, so I'm going to look it up real quick. By the way, you guys are killing that chat, man. Wow. Atom regex, yeah, that's a really good good suggestion as well. Merrick, make a script to make it for you. Yeah, I could make a script. It shouldn't be that hard, but I haven't needed it that often, so that's why I haven't made a script for it yet. Hey Mayank, how are you doing, man? So what I'm doing now is I'm just trying to look for when I go back to the because there's not a lot of information on here. There we go. So Eyewitness should just be the name of the Docker container. I'm just going to start this Docker container up, see if I'm correct real quick. Minus just the name of the Docker container in here. So this should be Eyewitness. Let me see, do I have the pull command here? Eyewitness Docker. I think this is the complete syntax. Not 100% sure, but we'll know in a second. There we go. And then we'll try F file, and we need to, it's going to create, let's just do test.txt for a second. It's going to create a working directory Eyewitness, so that's what this command is going to do. Now if we see here, we didn't give it any options to test for, so that's we didn't give it the minus web option, for example, or one of these parameters. So it's complaining about that, but we know that we're in the right direction because I just wanted to find out what the Docker container name was. I wasn't sure what the parameter meant, and I filled it in and it's telling me that Eyewitness is working. So what I want to do next is I just want to move back into the directory that I was working in. So that was the documents container, for the documents directory for me, and then bug bounties, and then Python script it was, and then we'll ls here. We were in sublister, ls here again, and we should be able to see, oh no, because we ran in the previous directory, so we need to go back one step another one, and we'll start making a new directory for Tesla here. So we'll make dir Tesla, there we go, navigate into that directory. And now we'll start making our nano file, our file for the domain. So tesla.com.txt. I'll name it like this. Go back to Visual Studio Code, copy all of my domains and paste them in here. Now what I want to do is run the, let's go back so we can run the Docker file again, the Docker command. I want to do it on the this specific file, but this is not going to be in the proper directory, and I wanted to scan for web. So what this command is going to do is it's going to go over my list, but it didn't find the file name, and that's because the file has to be in the correct directory, which is not at this moment. I'm going to do an ls. As you can see, there's an eyewitness directory now. So if I just copy my file over there, so to eyewitness/star, and then just confirm that it's over there. No, it's not. Let's see, did I make a mistake? Yeah, I did make a mistake. Sorry guys. Let's copy it over. Let's move it over instead of copying it. Tesla.com to eyewitness/tesla.com.txt. There we go. And when we run again, this should have resolved our issue now with not finding the file. Let's take a quick sip here. Let's have a look at the chat as well. Yeah, that's a good suggestion. I'm going to raise my terminal fonts a little bit. It'll be more easy to spot. There we go. As you can see that we have starting web requests right now. It's trying to attempt to make a screenshot of all of these hosts, and then I'm going to check out the directory to see what it contains. Let's check out the chat real quick again. Yeah, this live stream will be available later on YouTube as well as a video on demand. Hey Rohit, great having you, man. Great seeing you guys. How are you doing? Hope everything's okay with you. What can I do with a cross domain? I'm sorry bro, I have no idea what you mean. Hacker Kali Linux, can you explain that, what you mean by cross domain exactly? Let's see here. Mirek. By the way, I've built myself Python scripts which will go through all subdomains and check if they are online or not with the returning response code. That's a really cool Python script, Merrick. I've tried to write one myself before as well, but I've noticed that I can just use tools like Eyewitness and they'll automatically tell me if a domain is up or not. And if a domain is not up, it's not going to be able to make a screenshot. So that's why I do that. I would see some more value into Python script if you have to scan ports that are non-default, like non-HTTP ports. Like, for example, if you put your web server on port 112 every time, that's really interesting to make a Python script out of. Let's see here, just use Aquatone. Yeah, Aquatone is the tool that I'm going to be investigating next. It sounds really interesting as well. Hey Sajid Ali, how are you doing, man? Great having you. Hey, I'm going to try to pronounce your name right now, so sorry if I butcher it. Akshansh, sorry if I messed that up. I'm not really good with names, but great having you back, man. What steps were taken till now? So for now, I didn't do a whole lot. I just started Sublister, and I'm going to replace Sublister with another tool soon, Subfinder. For now, I'm still using Sublister. And I took my domains, I put them into a txt file, I put HTTPS in front of them, and for that I just started Eyewitness. So that's pretty much what happened till now. We're going to look for some interesting stuff on these domains later, so let's see what the chat has said. On point, I think he means crossdomain.xml. I'm going to have to look that up because I'm not 100% sure what that is. What is your best directory busting tool? That's a really good question as well. I just use Burp Suite Pro content discovery. That's really one of the best things I've found so far, because it's really context dependent as well. It'll start checking the robots.txt file for paths, all that kind of stuff. So you're not just trying to brute force directories, but it's actually trying to do it a little bit smarter. And for a free tool, I would recommend GoBuster. I really like GoBuster, and we'll look at both tools a little bit later on. So see what those are. Let's see. Bro, use Aquatone for screenshots. Yeah, it's one thing I want to do next. Yeah, it's really taking too long. It's attempting to make screenshots, but it's taking a long. I think you guys just couldn't see the output. So it has been making screenshots in the background, but apparently the output wasn't coming up on screen. No idea why that happened. Let's restart it, just see what, see if we can get a little bit further this time. But we have some good things to look at already, so we'll start looking at those soon. Didn't get video notification. I think it's because I've been uploading like maybe 2 or 3 videos already, so that's why maybe some people haven't been able to get the video notification. I don't think YouTube wants to spam you guys with too much information. Maybe I should tone down my uploads a little bit as well, but I really like putting all this content out for you guys, so as long as you guys keep watching, of course I'll keep making it. I really enjoy it. So while this tool is running in the background, what I'm going to do is look at what screenshots have been made as well. Going to my documents now. There we go. And I should have a new file. Waiting for the file to appear. Oh, of course, I have to go to my bug bounties in here. There we go, my bug bounties folder. And we've created a new folder for Tesla in here. There we go. And in the eyewitness folder we can find our running sessions. Let's see if this one is the one we're looking for. This one is the current one that's just running, so this one is the one that we need. There we go. Let's see if we can find some interesting domains, shall we? Now what I usually do is I'll just select all of these, but this only works because I'm on macOS, of course. So you guys probably need to use another method, and I just double click on all of them and they'll open in my Finder. I don't know if this works on Linux and Windows as well, so you guys can try it, but I have no clue. Now let's see what we can see in the chat real quick again. There we go. Let's look at what cool things we can find for Tesla as well. Let's see here. It takes less for screenshots. Yeah, it has a lot of advantages, I've heard. How many Indian hackers in chat? Hey, thanks Andy. Yeah, I have been releasing like 2 videos today, but it's because I wanted to get those out of the way, because I have some really cool content coming your way. So I wanted to get some of my backlog cleared for now, and I record a lot of videos for like a rainy day, but I need them out of the way right now. I have some more cool stuff coming your way, guys. How do you select a word list for content discovery? It's highly dependent on what I'm doing. So for example, right now I've been able to take a lot of screenshots, and I'll be going through all of them, like this one for example. This sounds like an interesting domain already. I'm going to minimize my Finder here, my preview, so I can give you guys an idea of what domain this is on as well. So for example, now we found the domain cloudprotect.tesla.com. This domain looks interesting because it's first of all a login portal, so we're going to see what we can do with login portals in a coming episode. But second of all, when you find a login portal, you should start brute forcing now. I'll start checking for specific word lists for this vendor, of course, but for example, if I find an ASP.NET website, I'll start looking for word lists containing words related to the technology. It's really dependent on what you want to test. for what word lists you're looking for, if you guys understand what I'm saying. So let's see further what's in the chat. Yeah, this will be uploaded to YouTube on a later stage as well. How to search GitHub for leak tokens and sensitive data. I've seen many researchers making a good amount of money from it. AMP, that will be, I'll be talking about that shortly. That's a really good question as well. So we'll be doing that for our recon because we need it in a later stage, maybe, I don't know. It's always useful to have some secrets, right? Seclist and JSON all.txt word lists for contact discovery. Now, there's one thing I want to say about that. You're better off just creating your own word lists. It's not easy, I know that. I understand that it's not easy to create your own word lists. But you have to understand that word lists that are available on the internet are available for everybody. So every single application hacker can use them. Every single web application hacker, everybody who does content discovery is going to be able to use those word lists. So it's really good that you are able to use the correct ones, but it's better if you're able to find a way to create your own word lists. There is a website. I did a comment there. It was a post request, so the request to the burp suite and change to host header to another domain, and it redirected with domain followed by a comment ID. Hacker Kali Linux, could you please join my Discord maybe, and we can maybe talk a little bit about it in our Discord channel, because that way I'll have a little bit more time to look into it and to think about it a bit more. Sorry I can't help you with that directly here. I would probably be a lot of uhs and ahs and a lot of thinking, but not a lot of actual answers. So going to have to save that for in our Discord. Sorry about that. Praful Aparu, yo, hey man, how are you doing? Hope you're doing good, man. Give me a second here, guys. Let's see here. While using Burp Suite, we want to use VPN or not? And tell me when we want to use VPN. Now, really interesting question. I always tell people you can use a VPN, but I would use a VPN to prevent getting your main IP banned. Now, what I mean by that is you're going to do a lot of hacking attacks. You're going to do some strange requests, and the chances of you getting banned are real. So to prevent that from happening, use a VPN, and anytime that you get banned, the next time that you attack, like you just stop your VPN connection, you get a new VPN IP, you try again, but you try a little bit more slowly and a little bit less intrusive. So that's why I would recommend using a VPN, just to not get banned from your main IP address, and you will able to be switched a lot easier. But you can of course also use a proxy for that, so it really depends on what you want. Let's see here, Merrick. Are you allowed to upload this content on YouTube though? Yeah, I'm allowed to upload this content to YouTube, because what I'm doing is not illegal. I'm just doing recon, and anybody can do what I'm doing in this situation. I'm not going to go too deep into attacking, and I'm not going to give you guys an attacking guide. I'm just going to give you guys a recon guide. So that's something to keep in mind here. By the way, will you hack Tesla later on? Yeah, that's why I also started like a notebook. So I have OneNote open here, and any interesting stuff that I find will go into my hacking collection later, of course. Any interesting screenshots that I find, any interesting information, that's all part of my later methodology. Let's see. Yeah, no, not brute force login, but more like cross-site scripting, brute force directory, that kind of stuff. Word lists equals bread. Yeah, that's true. Word lists are very important in the sector. One of the most important things, I would say. Please continue the live session for entire bug bounty methodology on Tesla. Now that is something I'm not allowed to do. I'm really sorry. I would really like to do one for a complete methodology, but I have my methodologies on the Juice Shop videos. And believe me guys, those are my real methodologies. I'm not lying when I tell you guys that I do that to find my real bugs just on a different website. So that's all the difference in the world. Good side to learn Python automation. That really depends on what you want to learn with Python automation. Now, I'm going to have to think here a little bit, but there are some resources I can recommend. But the most important thing I would just recommend is to take a task that you have to execute multiple times. For example, when you're hacking, this is a great example. When I was hacking, I had to put https:// in front of all of my URLs that I found. You can just automate this with Python, and this is a task. If you have to do this multiple times, it's really worth automating. I'm writing shell script right now to learn shell scripting, so I have my initial scans, my initial recon, I have Nicto that I run on top of that, all that kind of stuff. And that's the kind of stuff that's most interesting to me to automate and just to try to learn how to automate with. So that's my recommendation for you guys on that one. Man, burp plug IP rotate is the best alternative for VPN. Yeah, IP rotate is a really good extension. I really like that one. It gives you like random IPs every time. Mirik says, how much bugs have you found so far, and how long are you doing bug bounty? I found maybe, I don't know, you guys, my integrity profile is in the comments below. If you guys want to see this one as well, I'll put it in the link, in the chat, I mean, sorry. Let's see here, integrity researcher, the amazing ferret. Let's go there together, shall we? So there we go, that's me. Apparently 24 of my bugs have been accepted so far. I've reported a total of 68 bugs, and 88% of my bugs have been valid, with total points of 385. So that's how much bugs I've found. Mostly I haven't found any on other bug bounty platforms, and I've been doing bug bounty hunting since, I would say, about the beginning of this year, so for maybe 4 or 5 months now. Saeed Ali says, I am always having issues in selecting word lists for my target. How can I overcome such mistakes? I'll be soon releasing a video on how to select the proper word lists for which targets. It's really a science, because having the good word lists can be the difference between finding those hidden endpoints that all of the other hackers missed and just searching for low-hanging fruits all of the time. So it's really interesting and a really good topic. I will teach you guys more about that in a later video. Hey Hemakuma, how are you doing, man? Even this is a good beginner, good course as well for Ali bug bounty hunting. Sorry bro, I don't really understand what you mean. Could you elaborate on that a little bit, please? You can use HTTPX, HTTP status. Also don't know, sorry. Sorry guys, I'm a little bit confused. The chat is going super quickly and I didn't expect this. I was expecting to do a bug bounty like recon session. Wow, integrity. How to deal with foreign language. These are parameters and paths that are in a different language. That's true, but you can recognize your parameters often. Like you can recognize if an image is being captured, and you guys also have to think that most of these developers, they actually develop in English as well. I just would recommend using Google Translate, maybe using, because I hack French websites as well, and I'm not that good in French, so I just use Google Translate. And if I really can't see what parameters mean, I just try to guess a little bit by trying to look at paths, like for example file paths for LFI and RFI. You can just do cross-site scripting, and you don't need to know what all of these parameters mean. You just need to be able to save some stuff or find some reflected values. So it really depends again on the challenge, but there are ways around that. A lot of the good people that I know, a lot of the good hackers, they hack on integrity as well, and they come from far places like Australia, and it's crazy. They find the most insane criticals. Let's see what else is in the chat. Wow, guys, you guys are going really fast. Really great having you guys, man. Could you talk a little bit about how we can escalate impacts of subdomain takeover? Well, for example, if you what subdomain takeover is for example if you have an A record, google.com, and that A record references to a different subdomain, like www.google.com will go to www.yahoo.com, and yahoo.com is for sale. So that would be a subdomain takeover if you can take over yahoo.com. Now, when you do that, you have a domain, a valid domain of your target. For example, google.com. You have a valid domain because you bought yahoo.com. That's pointing to your website. So you can start scamming people. You can start doing all these kinds of stuff. And if you find an MX record that has that vulnerability, you can start sending emails in the name of the target and that kind of stuff. You can register SPF and DKIM records in their name and all of that kind of good stuff. So that's what you can do with that. Wow, man, congratulations on your successes so far. Thanks very much, man. My biggest success so far has been my YouTube channel. Without a doubt, you guys are like the best thing that's come out of this. Really, thank you so much for being here. Thanks, Andy. Most of my vulnerabilities that I find them using broken access control and authorize. So that's where most of them come from. But recently I've gotten really into recon as well. It's a really interesting topic and it goes very deep as well. Yeah, cool is also a really good tool as well. Thanks for suggesting that, Sparsh. What is your educational background? So my educational background is really weird. I finished my middle school as a chemistry student. I got my diploma there, decided I want to be a computer scientist. Went a little bit more into, first of all, networking. I got my diploma in networking as a systems network administrator. Then I decided I didn't want to do that anymore, so I started to do some programming. Did that for a couple of years at a job. Then I decided I didn't want to do that anymore, so I became a software test engineer. And now I am where I am, like still a software test engineer and also a software penetration tester. So that's my background a little bit. HTTPX is projected discovery tool. HTTP status is in fast speed. I'll have to look that up a little bit later, my young. I'll see exactly what HTTPX is. So now leave chat and do recon. You can only do QA. You can also do QA streams later. Yeah, that's true. We want QA. We want the 5K special giveaway party. 5K special giveaway parties. Wow. Give me a little bit longer to do. Get some more subscribers, guys. Yeah, cool is great. Used it a couple of weeks ago. I haven't really used it. I've heard a whole lot about it, so I'm going to do a lot about that later. You're doing a QA now, not a recon. Yeah, that's true. So let's move a little bit more onto the recon part of it. We'll return to the chat a bit later, see what happens there. Now back to the recon. So we have a lot of screenshots already. Let's see if our tool is done, because it's been running on the background. Now still not completely done, I see, but we can already start looking at some of these results. So let's open up our folder here. Let's see what images we have. A whole lot of them apparently. Now, how do you pick a proper target from this? Because there are a whole lot of things in here and it's not really easy. As you can see, there are some information, IIS services. You've got some XML. This looks interesting. All of this stuff looks super interesting. How do you go through what's really interesting and what's not? Well, there's only one way to do that, and that's just to go through every single thing. Every single one of these pages you're going to have to go through, and you're going to do some brute forcing and some content discovery, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit more. I cannot show you too much, remember that. I try to do my best, but it's not going to be the complete picture. So going to start a new burp suite. If it'll stop acting up real quick, that would be really enjoyable. Thank you, Burp. You're not being nice. There we go again. And I'm going to start up a temporary project. Now what I want to do is I'm going to go and look at some content discovery, see what we can find. By the way, sorry for the noise, one of the boys is awake. The boys are the ferrets, by the way. One of the good guys. And there we go. And we're going to start a new project we want to do with Tesla.com for a scope, so we want to set that first. That's really interesting. And I'm just going to go over each and every single one of these. So first of all, we have off.tesla.com, which is going to have possibly some interesting assets that we want to look at. Now chances for that are low, of course. And I have gone through this just to make sure that I didn't show you guys anything that I'm not allowed to. What we want to do now, first of all, is set our scope properly. So we want to use the advanced scope control, and we want to do anything Tesla related. There we go. And now we want to make sure that we have our Firefox up and running. There we go as well, and we'll look at the first website. No, not now, you're being really annoying. No updates. Off.tesla.com. Should be redirected to the HTTPS page. Of course, we have our intercept on and burp as well, so we'll have to make sure that that's off. There we go. So we can have our requests go through. And then we go through the page. So what I want to do is now go to my sitemap and my target tab. And we have our off.tesla.com. And I just want to go to my engagement tools there real quick and go for content discovery, discover content. There we go. And I want to start my session because I want to see what's on this website. And then we'll go to sitemap and it'll start looking for some content. So that's what I would usually do. I'll start looking for all of these, see if I have some interesting content on there. That's one of the first steps that I would take. And from there on, you just try to look for some interesting websites. I also always look for create an account, because in this case, creating an account is just going to bring you to the account creation for the main page, I think. But for some others, you might find a create an account. For example, if I had to create an account on this page, that would be a lot more interesting, sspr.tesla.com. I would try to look for that kind of stuff. I would go just page by page just to go through all of this stuff and see if I find something interesting, and just take it from there. So that is one of my recon methods. Now I don't look for any of the network ports. I just want port 80. I don't care for others. Now I do care in a sense that I want to know if I have some website ports on like port, maybe some different strange ports. So I will also, of course, start my nmap scans in the background. Now, when I have something that looks a little bit interesting, so I'm investigating, for example, now the off.tesla.com, I'm also going to start Nicto for that. So we have our scan done now, Nicto -- host. We're just going to copy paste this real quick. There we go. I'm just going to scan my Nicto, use my Nicto scanner. Use nmap on that host, of course. So I have written some scripts that run all of the nmap scans for me. I'm going to show you guys real quick. So let's go back here. Go into my scripts general folder. And here we can cut the initial scan. So this is one of the shell scripts that I'm writing. As you can see, it'll start running an nmap scan using some parameters, either a full nmap scan or a quick nmap scan, and it's going to run a nicto scan as well. I'll also be able to do some stuff like XSS strike, and I have some other scripts as well which I'll run for my targets, but I'll have to do these like for this one. I don't have to do them manually because I've written some scripts that go through each URL as well. But I can do them one by one if I want to zoom in a little bit deeper on one of the targets as well. So that would be mostly it for my recon. I don't know if you guys have any more suggestions for recon as well. I'm going to check the chat real quick again. Let's see here. Anyways, bugs are always in your language. That's very true. That's very true. Bugs are always in your language. Fuzzing is a pain on integrity programs. Also, I can understand that, but a lot of these programs that I test on, they're mostly in English, so it really depends on the program. One of their biggest public programs, Randstad.com, is like a program that anybody can hack on because it's in English, and I'm going to show you guys real quick because I can talk about this all I want, but it's better if I visualize all of this stuff. So let's see here, public programs. Let's look for Randstad real quick. And I always recommend this one as well because it's responsible disclosure. And as you'll see, responsible disclosures, they usually have a bigger scope and bigger domain and scope. So any related Randstad domain, so Randstad, this goes for any language, anything that you can find related for Randstad.com is in scope for this. So it doesn't really matter in this case if you don't speak Dutch or if you don't speak Czechish or any of these languages. You just have to be able to find the right target for this scope because it's massive. I tell you guys, giant scope. Really interesting for people like me. I like doing recon on this. Yeah, this stream will get saved on YouTube. So if you guys want, you can watch this later on. Let's see here. Can you show some of your bash automation file for any sort of work? Just wanted to look at the code and get a little idea of how it's done. I hope I showed you. I'll put the bash also in the Discord because in the description below you guys can find a Discord channel. And if you guys want to join, I'll put all of the notes in the Discord as well. Might be interesting. Let's see here. Breaking Bad, thexssrat is Mr. Heisenberg. What type of bugs do you mostly look for? IDORs? Yeah, I'm a big fan of broken access control. It's often overlooked, broken access control, and it's really easy to look for using Authorize. You can automate your IDOR search really easily that way. Hey Brutesec, how are you doing? Thanks man, great seeing you here. Great having you in my stream. What list do you use for content discovery? List of burp? Yeah, I've just used burp default settings for content discovery. But when I look for a word list, let me show you guys real quickly. I also use the sec lists. So from sec list. So I also use these word lists as well. And here you can find a word list for everything that you're doing divided into subcategories. So that's why I also use this page. This is also one that's really useful for me. Hey, how are you doing, Shako? Nick, great seeing you here, man. Do some IDORs. Yeah, I can look for some IDORs, but not on Tesla.com, guys. I can do my recon, but what I've been able to show you is what I'm able to show you. I cannot show you any more than this because I would be in a hell of a lot of trouble if I found something and it turned out to be a big vulnerability and I'm showing it to everybody who's interested, right? I think that wouldn't be so interesting for any of these targets. I don't think they would take it very gratefully. Checking source code for API. Yeah, that's also a step that I would do. but of course I cannot go too deep into this. I would really recommend you guys watch my video series on that, because I explain how to find these hidden gems and hidden endpoints. And I have a lot of methodologies for single targets as well. So once you're done with the multi-target recon stage, it just becomes a single target methodology, just like you always do. So that's what I would really recommend. Now let's see, your camera window is blocking the script place on the other side of the screen. Oh, I'm sorry, man. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to GitHub right now. I'm going to go to my repositories and I'm going to paste my scripts in there. Now you guys will have to do some changes to that as well, because there are some things not completely correct. For example, it's going to refer to my things on my computer, but you guys can try and see if you want to do a pull request on it and maybe try to do some fixes. So let's paste this in here real quick. There we go. And what I have in here is a few scripts. So let's go over it real quick. There's the initial scan for a single target domain. If you want to run it on a list of domains, you can do shell scan multiple domains.shell and just give it a file name. And what this file is going to do is it's just going to call the initial scan.shell. We'll look at it a bit more later as well. I'll show you guys what I mean. So for the next part, you need GoBuster, of course. That's of course a requirement. And what you will do, let's see, there it is. So you just need to do gobuster.shell on the URL and then give it your word list. So gobuster.shell -u for the URL and then -w for the word list. And then there are some more parameters which I'll explain later when we're showing the script. The next part I have is SQL injection testing with SQL Py, I think, and also cross-site scripted checking with XSS Hunter. So let's see a few of these scripts real quick. Your initial scan is going to, I don't know if I can enlarge this, guys, but you guys can follow along if you want. What this is going to do is it's going to do your nmap scan and your nicto scan. That's it. You guys are going to need to remove the -output parameter, because as you can see, I didn't put a value in here, so it's going to give an error, but I'm going to fix that later on. Some other things that I have to fix still are not in this script particularly, but in some other scripts. So when you do scan multiple domains, it still refers to, no, I fixed this. This is no longer an absolute path. When we do the scan multiple domains, by the way, what it's just going to do is it's just going to start the initial scan script line by line, whatever way you want to do it. So like the full nmap scan or the smaller nmap scan. Then we have gobuster.shell, which is just going to run gobuster. If you don't give it a word list parameter, it's going to use a default one, but I still have a relative path, an absolute path here, so this one is something that I still have to replace to this word lists folder. Then I also have an osint.txt file where I describe how to do some osinting. So this might be interesting for you guys, some stuff, some resources that you can find there. The hunting checklist.txt, this is something that I'm updating every single day, but I haven't pushed it yet. So here I keep my methodology for bug bounty hunting. And then of course you have SQL list, which is just going to take one of the things that I was missing in SQL Py was the ability to send a file. I don't know if they added this or if they haven't, or if I just haven't found it yet. But this is why I created this script, just running SQL map every on a file, on a complete file of URLs. The next thing is cross-site scripting list, and this is doing the same for cross-site scripting. Oh, XSS strike, sorry. Not XSS Hunter, of course, XSS strike, that is. So that's my repository. I hope you guys find something useful in there. Let's see. Hey Ed, great having you, man. Hope you're well. Let's see something else. Yeah, stop trying to every single time, man. Stop trying to insert some cross-site scripting attack vectors in my chat. And if you do, once again, you guys owe me some of that money. How to use senses and show them for recon. That's a whole video topic in and of itself, but it's really interesting. So I'm going to make that soon. Look out for that. I've been planning to do that as well. Sorry, by the way, guys, I have so much planned for video content. I hope you guys will enjoy what I have coming up for you. I don't know if you guys have any more questions, but that was it for me a little bit. I didn't want to show too much, but I hope I brought some value to your life anyway. So I just did some subdomain enumeration to find all of the subdomains. I just did some screenshotting using Eyewitness. I am going to look into Ecotone later on. I am going to look into some of these other tools. By the way, do you guys like frogs? I like frogs. I really like frogs when they're like, you know, the French. They like frogs as well. They like to put them in like a cooking bin, like a cooking pot, a big one, and then they like to make like this delicious frog legs. And I don't know if you guys like that, but I think Ed Overflow really likes them. Thanks, man. Thanks, everybody. It's been amazing having you here. I really hope you enjoyed. We're growing every single day. I see 20 people in the live stream already at the same time, which is mind-blowing to me. That 20 people want to listen to me bullshit for 20 minutes is something incredible. One thing I forgot to show you guys, and that I'm going to do as well, is these tools like sublister and that kind of stuff. They are amazing for finding subdomains. But what I will also do is just go some OSINTing, so site thexssrat.com, and then I'll try to look for all of the subdomains that I haven't found yet. So I already checked the www domain, cross that off, checked the forums domain, cross that off, checked the shop domain, cross that off, and keep going that way. That's also something I'll do for recon. So that's alright, let's see here. Because some messages in the chat again. This is really going too fast for me. I'm going to have to get 2 screens because I'm not used to streaming, as you guys probably noticed. I'm checking all of your messages on my phone. By the way, for your shell scripts, I recommend using GNU parallel and Xargs instead of using a linear while loop. It will speed up your process. Hey, thanks, Ed. I haven't looked at it that way. I'm going to look into that much deeper because that's really interesting. I've been wanting to do some parallelization with shell, but I haven't really figured out how to, so that's really interesting. Good pointer there. Hey, thanks, Mohammed. Thanks for being here. It was a really cool stream. Again, as always, I really enjoyed doing this. It's crazy that so many of you people are watching me just talk about some recon for like, how long now? Almost an hour? That's crazy that we're almost at an hour already. And Ed says, and yes, I like my frogs alive and happy. Yeah, I can understand that. I like my rat alive and happy as well. So thank you guys for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I'll be doing this a lot more. I really enjoyed doing this for you guys. My coffee is gone, so I'm going to go and get a new coffee. And I hope I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, everybody. Thanks for being with me. See you later. Yes, end the stream, please.